Now let's have a look at resources. Why? Well, of course, they are very important when we are talking about planning for service orders, because when you plan, you're going to plan your technicians and they will be resources. So in NAV, you need to go to the resource list and you need to pick one of the resources. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to assign resource capacity, because in order to be planned on service orders, we need to have capacity and availability as a consequence. How do we do this? Well, you select your resource. In this case, I'm taking Peter Johnson. And here you see on the planning tab that there is a button which is called resource capacity. If you click on that, you get again all the resources here. I'm going to select Peter Johnson and then I'm going to click on planning. If I click on planning, you see here set capacity. If you click on set capacity, you can fill in for a starting date, and you can also fill in an end date. And in that period in between the starting date and the end date, you can use a work hour template, for instance, a 40-hour week work week. And then you see Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is filled in according to the schedule of this work hour template. And then you see here in total 40 hours. So the next thing to do then is to click on update capacity. Do you want to change the capacity for the resource? You click on yes, and then you see the capacity was changed for that resource. Now we know how to add capacity for a resource. There is also something which is called resource availability, right? And this is of course the capacity, but then corrected for all the planning which is done on orders, like for instance job allocations, service orders as well. So you see here you see if later on we're going to plan this resource on specific service orders, then it will have an impact on the capacity, on the availability of that resource. So that is something that we will see later on when we're going to assign the resources to service orders. So you have, for a resource, you have the capacity and you have the availability. Now, besides capacity, you might also want to add skills to your resource. And to do so, we are going to take the resource in an edit mode. And then you see here on the resource tab that there is skills. If you click on skills, so what we can do is we can assign skills here in a manual way. So for instance, I can say like this resource has this skill, this resource has also PC software skill, and now 2 skills are added to this resource. So the next time I look here and I click on skills, then you see that those 2 skills are available for that resource. For planning, the service zones are important as well. And where can we find service zones? So you take your resource card and you go to navigate, and here you see a service. And when you click on it, you can assign your resource to a specific service zone. You might also do that for multiple zones, for instance, so Midlands as well. And now we have allocated service zones to our resource.